This is a super versatile, very quick to switch vertical or horizontal camera setup that can work with a handle, handheld, or a tripod, and just has a couple parts that make it really easy to use for both vertical and horizontal videos for stuff like YouTube. And in this video, I'm going to break down all the parts used, how to get something like this set up for yourself. So let's go ahead and dive in. But first, a quick disclaimer. This video is sponsored by Camera Foundry and Cineback, a thing that I invented and sell over at camerafoundry.com. We have several different cameras supported. There's quick releases, and soon we'll be releasing the FX2 version as well as showing you guys the Nikon ZR edition. To learn more, check the links in the description or camerafoundry.com. Thank you guys so much for checking that out and supporting the channel. So now let's dive into the nuts and bolts of this setup. I'm going to be shooting a lot more vertical video and wanted something that would be very easy to use as a B camera for this YouTube channel, but also be able to switch over to a vertical setup very quickly. I don't want any friction. If I have an idea for a video or some kind of update, I can do that very quickly with this setup. So I chose the camera, the Sony ZV-E1. Great. I've got a lens, the Tamron 17 to 28 millimeter, which is fantastic for vertical video. But then we had mounting, and I went back and forth with several different setups and landed on this, and so far have been loving it. So in short, I have a camera cage on here, a small rig cage, and then all the way around the outside of the rig, I have added the F22 Quick Release System from Falcam. I've done a video on this in the past, you can check it out. There's a trillion little knickknacks and parts of the system, so it's really, really versatile. But what's amazing is they have a little plate that is compatible with both the F22 system and the Falcam F38 system. So here I have a tripod, and I've been using these plates on everything. Our quick release Cinebacks all around the studio, for rigs, for stills, video, all of it. It's just a great system, and now I can use this thing with even more versatility. So let me show you what makes it so powerful. I've added 2 of the standard F22 plates on the left side of the camera and the top, and then 2 of the combo plates on the right side of the camera and the bottom. This allows me to do the following with this handle and this tripod. If I want to shoot a video for YouTube in horizontal mode, boom, I add the camera, I've got a nice horizontal setup. Now let's say I want to shoot a vertical video. I can remove the handle and add it to the top of the camera. Now I can flip the screen down. Now I've got a really nice vertical video setup. Now I can continue to do this all the way around using those other plates. So if I want to have my camera display on the top like so, I can flip it over and use that. I can also use the opposite side of the handle if I wanted to, or the grip side of the camera. But the reason those combo F22 and F38 plates are so cool is because I can now do this. I can take those same mounting points that I use for the handle and add it to the tripod. So now I've got a vertical video setup, as you see here. If I want to shoot video for YouTube, now we're back to horizontal. So you can quickly switch between vertical and horizontal tripod setups, as well as using those exact same mounts with the quick release handle setup, making it a dream to work with and just so convenient. So that's the rigging portion of this setup. The other is going to be audio, and for this things got a little interesting. So I'm using the Rode Wireless Pro. You could go with anything here. You could use a DJI, but this is what I've chosen to go with. And then I've run the cable around the lens, so you can see it's really nice and compact. That keeps all these mounting points for my handle nice and open and just cleans up the rig. You see how compact this is for a very all-in-one kind of unit. The problem I had was on the cable going into the camera, the little door for that jack was blocking my quick release handle, which needed to mount right next to it. And so it was hitting that. So I decided to actually remove the SD card cover as well as the USB and microphone covers. Long story short, I was able to remove a couple screws from the side of the camera, then 2 from the bottom. I was able to pry that side plate or those cover doors off to one side, which revealed a little pin, and I was able to grab that with a pair of pliers and pull the whole thing out. With that pin came a spring and 2 doors, so I put those in a nice little baggie to reinstall when I go to sell this camera someday. And then I put all the screws back into the camera, and now we're ready to go, and it's been working out great. And I also really appreciate this because often I use these cameras in a top-down setup, rigged up real high, and so I'm constantly pulling cards out of the side of the camera, and that can get really annoying when there's a door and you can't see the card and stuff. So I actually prefer to have my ports exposed. I know that makes a lot of people crazy, but that's the way I'm gonna roll. So that's gonna really wrap up this video. And if you're wondering why we're doing kind of a filler video today, first of all, I thought this was a really sweet setup and wanted to share it with you. Secondly, a much larger camera system that I've been working on, which is in the background, required one tiny part, and Amazon one-day delivery failed me. So here I am going with another video idea for this week. But next week, we'll be back with another cinema camera idea and all kinds of other fun stuff I'm really looking forward to sharing with you guys. In a second, I'm going to film with this setup and show you a little behind the scenes. But for those of you who need to take off, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next video. And for those of you who have a quick second and want to see how I filmed this, here we go. So I'm switching to the audio from this setup, just the Rode Wireless Go Pro or Rode Wireless Pro, and we are using the camera setup. So we've got my A7 IV here, and we are filming this with a vintage lens. This is the Vivitar Series 1 28mm f1.9. And so if you look at the shot again, there's a lot of interesting stuff. I'm actually using a generative thing to cover up this light. Also, I think my stool is failing. It keeps lowering. There we go, that's much better. With audio, we're using my crazy microphone setup. I've done a video on this. So it's a rolling stand with my audio recorder. That's being transmitted to the camera. We've got my video monitor. So this is my production monitor. Did a video on that recently, so you can check that whole setup out if you'd like. And then for the light, I've done a behind the scenes video recently talking about this thing. This is the Aparo light mat. So I'm hoping to get one more of these in the studio, and I'll do a review on those, but it's just a really nice soft light. For the background, we have our cool code setup. Let's go ahead and walk over here. Did a video on this recently, which is a lot of fun. Really enjoy this project. That and this bench here are both wireless sit stand desks that I did a video on how to build those too. We have the Amaran T4C LED tube light, giving us a kind of greenish blue, which just looks fabulous back there. And on this side, I've got a lamp here. This is just an IKEA lamp with the aperture. What is that bulb called? Man, totally spacing on that, but I'll put a link in the description along with everything else. That is on a stand, just a light stand actually. It's kind of a fun little hack just to put these in the frame. And it looks great, slightly out of focus as you can see there. Then we have two lights on the background. Both of these are my Nan lights, these builds that I've done a video on where they roll around. And I've got one that has the battery dead over there. This one over here on a stand as well, and that's giving me that little red light. And it has a little fun, I don't know what to call this, a tick, a hack, a tip. I'm really enjoying where if you set the light to a certain position where you can hit multiple objects, it gives you this really cool effect. So if I just have a sliver of light, thanks to the lens on here, and it's hitting this light, it's hitting that case and the background. And I just think when you look at that on camera, that just looks great. Let me move this tripod, whatever this is called, out of the way. I just love how that looks. It kind of gives me vertical anamorphic vibes, but it's just little things like that just really spice up the background. Then of course we just have a basic wooden desk here, and that's basically the setup. Nothing too crazy, although I suppose you could definitely say it's pretty crazy, but you could rebuild this with significantly less expensive lighting. Yeah, so that's really the setup for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if this is